hey there, friendships. Welcome back to Curtis' Corner. If you're new here, hi, I'm Curtis. This is my corner. And on today's special video, we have yet another interview with a wonderful individual from the Winnie the Pooh universe yet again. If you couldn't tell, I'm kind of obsessed with this universe, and everyone that I have spoken to, including the one that we're talking to in today's video, have all been absolutely lovely. And yes, I did purchase this, and yes, I did wear this in the interview. And if you want to get yours, I'll put a link in the description box. You can go there. Literally, their merchandise. It's wonderful. It's great quality. I love it. It's fun. And anyone from the production team of Jagged Edge, if you are watching this, I'm gonna need this design, okay? But like with a Tigger, with a Piglet, with an owl, everybody. Like I want this creepy Pooh, but like a creepy Tigger, a creepy owl in this like sketchy storybook design. Thanks. But this is not what we're here to talk about. We're here to get to know and talk with Nichaela Farrell. She is playing Cara in Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2. And like I said, she was an absolute treat to talk to. So if you are interested in hearing some behind the scenes moments, some little aspects about her character and her involvement in the film, then keep on watching. Before we jump into things, please make sure you are liking this video if you like movie-related content, and also subscribe to my channel and ring that notification bell so you know when I'm posting brand new videos, because if you don't, how else are you gonna know? You won't, so do it. Along with all that, in the description box below, there is a link to my Patreon, $1 a month. You get early access to my videos, you get creative control over my videos, and the videos that you get to see are unedited, full, raw, original footage. So if any and all of that interests you, click that link, show your support, join the friend zone, and I will see you there. Without further ado, let's jump into the interview with Nichaela.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
So you've had quite a busy month so far.
Yeah, at the moment, yeah, with all the Winnie stuff.
Yeah. Has it been going well for you?
Yeah, it's been going really well. I've had a lot of fun. I just came back at the start of the week from LA doing the press tour there. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was really great to be there. It's my first time in America, so yeah.
Hopefully they gave you a decent, warm welcome.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So what I like to do before kind of starting everything, I usually get everyone that I talk with to kind of introduce themselves, kind of give everyone a little bit of knowledge as to who they are, what they like about acting, what got them into acting. And then we kind of jump into some warm-up questions just to get everyone comfortable before going into the actual questions about the film and everything. So are you able to tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what made you want to pursue acting?
Yeah, so I've been professionally acting maybe for like about 5 years now, but I've always done like school plays and like drama club and whatnot. And yeah, I just kind of always loved doing it since a kid. I think by nature I'm a performer. I love telling stories. I love I'm that friend that if I'm telling you a story, I will tell you everything from A to Z with a segue off A that leads into B and everything. So I really, really love that aspect of it. So I think that's why I've always been drawn to acting, just the aspect of like storytelling, kind of losing yourself in a character. And when I was younger, we used to have this like curtains in my living room, and I literally used to do like a curtains call as like a 4-year-old girl. But yeah, so I've always loved doing acting, both stage, and now I've kind of like developed into doing more screen as well.
Awesome. Sounds actually really fun and reminds me very much of my childhood, because that's pretty much kind of the things that I used to do all the time, is very over the top and constant, like storytelling wise. It's like no detail goes misplaced.
Yeah, I love that.
So we're going to start with some fun questions just to get everyone loosened up. So what is your favorite horror film or franchise?
I've been asked this question a lot recently, and I did say before I really like Orphan. I think it's just because I always get taken by surprise by the fact that we're convinced it's this innocent little girl, that as the movie progresses we're like, something's not quite right there, and then the big reveal is like, oh crap, there is something seriously wrong here. So yeah, I really like that film, but I also just really like the Jordan Peele horrors he does. Like I really like Us. Us is particularly, I just love Lupita Nyong'o's performance in that. Just incredible, yeah.
Yeah, I think out of the Jordan Peele trilogy that he has right now, I think Us is by far my absolute favorite. Just with the performances just in general, but just the whole concept about it, I found was very, very fun.
Yeah, I love how dystopian it is because it's like so close to what could be our reality, and I think that's what makes it scary. Like, what's the scariest thing about it?
Yeah, I think so too. Are there any roles or genres that you are hesitant to try? And why?
Well, I really want to do action, but I don't have a lot of background in like stage combat. So it makes me hesitant, but like I also really want to take the risk and like step out of my comfort zone and really commit to doing that sort of role.
Okay. I think Lewis has stage combat training.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get him to train you.
Yeah, I might just hit him up and say, hey, can you teach me some things?
If your acting career had a theme song, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. My career is a bit like, it always pans out the way that I don't think it'll be. I don't know. Kind of maybe Hannah Montana's Best of Both Worlds. Like, I don't know. Just 1 minute it's like, you got the limo out front. And the next minute, like, I'm just like some ordinary person waiting on a job sort of thing.
That's very fair. And is there any actor or director, past or present, that you would love to collaborate with?
I think I really want to collaborate with Edgar Wright because we went to the same uni, so I'm like trying to get in there, like the same vibe. But also again, like Jordan Peele, his sort of work would be incredible to be a part of. Yeah.
Is there like a kind of a concept that you'd hope for, maybe with a Jordan Peele or Edgar Wright?
Yeah, because I quite like satirical comedies and I quite like horror comedies, like the balance between tragedy and comedy in a story. So I'd really like to experiment with a character in that kind of has to go through the journey of the extreme dark, but also finds those moments of light and like those moments of like, that's kind of funny, but it shouldn't be funny sort of thing.
Sounds good. All right, so now we're going to jump into all things Winnie. So what was it about Cara that attracted you the most to this particular script?
Well, when I read it, or when I auditioned for it, actually, I didn't see the script, all of the script when I auditioned. But when I saw her part, she was a really fun character. She's kind of like your typical it girl character, but then also she's got this whole backstory with Christopher Robin, where like they were childhood friends, and obviously this horrible thing happened in their childhood. There's this tragedy that happened around these kids, and as they've gotten older, their relationship has changed in the sense that they're still kind of friends because it's been that friend like, oh, I've known you all my life sort of thing, but then it's also kind of like, oh, she feels like she has to distance herself from him, and she's got to find this persona that distracts everyone away from that tragedy and that history. So I really enjoyed that about her, that she was like just really wanted to be the life of the party, really wanted to just change the town's view on like their life. She didn't want to be like a pity party or like a sob story, but I think also her values kind of are compromised because in doing so she kind of wants to dissociate herself from Christopher Robin and doesn't really have that empathetic nature towards him. So yeah, it's quite a cool character in the sense that she has her own values but also has the obstacles and like emotional barriers that kind of prevent her from being completely empathetic towards him. Yeah.
How were you able to prepare or research for this role, including any pivotal moments in the script that are crucial for understanding your character?
I think Cara's just very much like one of those girls that kind of obsess over influencers. Kind of really wants to be that it girl and like create a new life for herself. So I kind of like channeled that, kind of like looked into influencers and how they act sort of thing. I made like a playlist with music that made me feel like her, like music, like party music that kind of made her feel like this boss bitch character. And like, yeah, just looked into that way of thinking and like kind of thought of how she's kind of this character that says everything or like is very abrupt in the way that she is and very sharp, doesn't really care what she says. But I kind of thought about it in a way that is kind of a character, someone embodying all the things that I wouldn't say, like all the like the mean side of me, that kind of the impolite and like the risky kind of side of me that I just channeled that into her.
Okay, cool. What did you find was the most challenging about your character, like any scenes about your character?
I think because when you see her in the film, you see her as a child for like a brief moment, and then you see her as this adult and like ready to like raring to go for this party. So I think it was just trying to find a way to actually introduce this character. Like obviously she's very life of the party, kind of sees herself a bit above everyone, but also just trying to find that the human like value of that character, and like trying to think about how she would come across as a first impression, and like finding that balance of like being authentically her, but also like trying not to tread on anyone's toes, but also just trying to stay true to what she values. So it was that for me was kind of a challenge to find also within quite a small period of time in the film before all the chaos happens. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the whole entire setup to the rave sequence was definitely a good building moment, especially for your character too, because you don't really get much time with your character in the film, but there's just enough in there to kind of cement who you are in the film as the character. And it just shows kind of the progression and ultimately the fate of what's going to happen to this character later on.
Yeah, I definitely think she comes across as like this person you love to hate and you hate to love. So when she dies, it just feels like really cathartic for both like sides of the audience.
Did you have a favorite sequence, either that you saw or that you filmed within Winnie?
I mean, I'm a part of the rave sequence, but I actually didn't really film the Tigger parts. But I've really like overall the whole rave sequence because there's a crescendo of like craziness and carnage and chaos. And I think the Tigger kills aspect of the rave are very like torturous and like very, this is Sparta and like Roman death kind of level of crazy. And then Winnie's kills are very like abrupt, like no time wasted, straight to the point. So I think that entire sequence of the beginning of the rave to the end, like my death being the final death of that sequence, is just so cool in the sense that it's so up and down, and it plays with people's emotions to the sense that they're like, oh, this person might make it, but oh no, they're not. Like, no, not at all.
Yeah. How did you approach building chemistry with other characters and work with Reese in order to shape and refine your characters for your scene?
Well, on the day when, like, my first day on set, Temi, who plays Ava, who's like my best friend in the sequence, we had instant chemistry. It was really refreshing to just meet her, and like straight away we got on, and like it was really fun. Like when we weren't actually filming and we were sat like in set, it was just fun to talk about stuff, and we were on the same wavelength, so it was really easy that way. And then also Scott was really lovely as well, playing Christopher. So every time I did do the scenes where he's like kind of upset at what CARA'S saying, I felt so bad every time we stopped filming a take. So that was like nice in the sense that we actually really got on, so it was easy to do that. And when I did my first, like when we were doing the rehearsal take, Scott and Reese were just laughing at me because they found it so funny. They were like, you're so good at doing this character, and they just found like everything about her, just how like snarky she was, or how in her own head and didn't care about anyone else sort of vibe. They just found it hilarious. So it was really good energy to go off of, and like it was really easy to find what they wanted in that character. There was some like improv parts that I got at the end of that scene, but obviously got edited out in the movie, but they might be in the deleted scenes. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was so much fun because they just found it hilarious.
Awesome. Yeah, I was talking with Nikki, and she was saying that there was a lot of improv that was happening but ended up getting scrapped as well. So
Yeah.
here's hoping, like if anyone is watching that's on the Winnie team who's behind making the physical media, put it on.
Hopefully, yeah.
So comparing Blood and Honey to your favorite types of horror films that we mentioned earlier, how would you say that this film fits in with the horror genre?
Oh, I think this film definitely has its funny moments as well. So it feels like it could not be parallel, but like sit next to the Jordan Peele kind of franchises, in the sense that it's funny. Like the lines that, like some of Tigger's lines are really funny, but also it's like so sinister. But yeah, so I think those kind of go hand in hand. I think in terms of the orphan film though, I think how like brutal it is, it kind of matches that vibe as well.
Okay, just kind of jumping off of just some of the lines that you were talking about with Tigger. Was there a favorite Tigger line that he said?
definitely. The fluorescent bitch line.
Yep. I think
It
that's
is
everyone's new
iconic
favorite.
line.
It's so good.
Yeah, and I also love it because I hadn't seen any of the Tigger stuff before actually seeing the movie, and I had no idea. So when I actually saw it at the premiere, I was literally howling. It was so funny.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best lines ever said. Like it rivals that, I think, of like Freddy's quips or even Chucky's quips.
Yeah.
So were there any particular scenes, moments, or behind the scenes experiences that deeply resonated with you or that you found particularly memorable?
I really enjoyed filming the rave scene, but particularly like the second kill of the rave scene. So the bit where Winnie puts the bear trap on the girl's head and pulls her head and then bats it. That bit was really fun to film because it was like, before that, it was an actual, like we were actually having basically a rave where we were just playing rave music. Everyone was dancing, everyone has a great time. And then we were filming that part where he bats her head and everyone just got sprayed with blood. It was just something about it was so euphoric to just be like mid-rave dancing and just being sprayed with blood, and then completely the motion changes. You're like, ah, like you just scream. So I love that because the peak of chaos, like how quickly it peaks to chaos, is so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I find there was a lot of really good moments where it kind of flipped the atmosphere throughout this film, where it's very calm and then just all hell breaks loose and you have no idea what direction it's going to go into.
Yeah, I love that.
Are there any specific choices that the character makes that you personally like really disagree with, and how were you able to reconcile with that as an actor?
I didn't really think about this until I watched it at the premiere with my friends. And my friends, like, when Cara looks back before she dies, my friend was like, "You dumb bitch." Like, she was like, "Why did you do that?" And I was like, now looking back at it, it's like, yeah, why does she look back? Why doesn't she keep going? So I think that sort of like the way she handled getting away with her before her death was kind of like, you could have handled that way better.
Yeah, I think that's with a lot of characters in a lot of horror. It's the I'm gonna trip over nothing, or
Yeah, that one as well.
you're gonna stop and look around. It's like, oh, he's gone, and slowly walk towards the direction you were just running from, only to get killed moments later.
Yeah, but I think that's part of the art of horror movies, isn't it? It's like, oh, will they? Oh no.
So now that the film is complete, how do you reflect on Cara's involvement in the film?
I think it was great, and I think we did play around with a lot that got out that wasn't in the final edit, but I think it was great to just play around with her. I think it's weird, like now people really like, there's TikTok fan edits of her, like that people seem to have enjoyed her character. A lot of people, like, when we were filming, were convinced like people were gonna hate her character, and I was like, yeah, I think she's just one of those characters where she sits on the fence of like hate and love, and I think it was a great character to have to kind of uplift and take away from the doom and gloom of like that tragedy, the storyline of like trying to find out what happened to the kids, and she kind of like uplifted it in a way that she's like, okay, let's not think about that, let's just have a good time and enjoy life. Also, just like she had to like have that rude awakening and like face reality in the sense that there are murders going on in town, like and you're throwing a rave as if nothing's happened. So I think it's great to have her character involved. She gives a bit of, I don't know, she gives a bit of the high life in the story and kind of takes away from the sadness of it all. But yeah, has a rude awakening.
Yeah, very. So had your character been involved in more scenes and, you know, had her demise not actually happen, how do you think she would have evolved throughout the story? And do you feel that Cara would have experienced growth or redemption by the end?
I definitely think she probably would have been way more apologetic towards Christopher towards the end. I think she probably would have really been like feeling awful about it and would have made an effort to help Christopher, to help him in the sense of like trying to stop the like murders from happening, trying to figure out what's actually happened to like his brother. And I think she'd probably be more sympathetic and actually really actively try to fight with him towards the end. And I think it would be like a moment of, I don't know, not rekindling, but I think a moment of just like realization that this is someone that's been in your life for a long time, and for you to turn your back on them, it's quite harsh. Yeah.
Is there a favorite line that you said in the film?
There were some that weren't in the final edit. I think there's a bit that was like edited out that might be in the deleted scenes, that like me and Ava have like a bickery part, and I tell her to like clean up all the shit, and she's like, no bitch. And I'm like, you're the bitch. And like, it's just really catty, and I really enjoyed that bit. But yeah, maybe it'll make the deleted scenes, we'll never know.
Here's hoping. Because that already just sounds fun. It seems very, very in the moment for that character.
Yeah.
So now that the world has been informed about the future release of the Pooniverse Monsters Assemble, if you could play any character, be it in the public domain or that you're hoping to be in the public domain, who would be your ultimate choice to show up in like a assembled film like this?
That's a good question. I don't know, actually. I hadn't thought about that. So in or out of the public domain, basically. I'm not sure. I think, you know what? To be one of the fairies, I think, in Peter Pan would be quite fun. I think it'd be like, Tinkerbell's got quite a sinister look or storyline coming for her in Peter Pan's Neverland. Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting. So I think all the other fairies in that as well probably would have quite a dark story, but physically look so like gentle and like ethereal, but really sinister. Something really sinister going on underneath it. I think that'd be really interesting, and I think that would be fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
And how was it working with practical effects during your specific scene, and ultimately the fate that befalls on Cara?
It was cool. It was quite like my head was like tangled. It was like so many things going on, because I kind of in a way did my own stunts, which I had to like jump on a crash mat and then hold the fake head while like actually hanging my head off like the actual platform, whatever it was, and then blood from that head's like dripping down on me. So it was like a lot going on, and we filmed this scene at like 1 a.m. So my brain was like doing the mass meme, trying to figure out how to do everything. But yeah, it was interesting. It kind of gave me an insight on how much detail goes into it, and like how many cogs are turning to create that one shot of like my head being pulled off. Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely played off really well in the film, so.
Yeah, I think even I watched it and I was like, oh, that actually looks like my head twisted there.
So do you have any other projects, be it film or theater, that are coming up in the near future that you are excited for?
Yeah, so I did another film with Jagged Edge called The Royal Twin, and that should come out this year. It should come out, I think, around Christmas time, because it's a Christmas rom-com movie. So it's completely different vibes to this film. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I get to play a princess and like an ordinary like farm girl, and they're twins. So it's really interesting. It's a really fun role to play. And I'm also a writer, so I'm currently trying to develop my play that was called That's Your Friend. It was on last year, and I'm trying to develop it into a TV pilot at the moment. So hopefully that will be in production soon.
Awesome. That's super exciting to hear.
Yeah.
What do you think is the most rewarding part about working on this film, or just in the film industry in general?
I think meeting the people that I met. I think this production company, like, this is my first ever film, and I think I couldn't have worked with like better people for my first ever project, because they were just all so kind, all such passionate people, and just like able to have fun as well as that. Like, they were great. Like, even spending time with them now, like on the press tours and like time following up after that, it's been so much fun. And yeah, I couldn't ask for better people to have started out in the film industry with, professionally, properly anyway. So yeah, I think that's probably the best part for me.
Awesome. Yeah, everyone seems very genuine, very caring, loving, all of that, and just all around good people. So it's very good that you were able to manage to get into an area that had people who actually not only have a passion for this project, because at the end of the day, it is passion projects. Even if it's a really good 5-star film or if it's a half-star film, it does not matter. The point behind all of these films is that they're having fun, and that's what it comes down to at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think because they're so passionate, it really comes across as well. As you said, like it was a low-budget horror movie, so for it to come across as well as it has, and like how amazing it came out in the end, I think it just really commends and like shows how much they are committed and passionate, and I think I really value that in a person because I'm just a very passionate person myself. So yeah, it was amazing to work with them, and I would absolutely work with them 1,000 times, a million times again.
So what do you hope that audiences are going to take away from Blood and Honey 2?
I hope people just like enjoy horror again. Like, I think for like, horror is not an easy genre, I think, for everyone to get into, but I think Blood and Honey 2 is one of those horrors that a multitude of people can enjoy. Like, there's so many things about it that it's, you know, it's unique in the sense that it's a low budget horror, it's a public domain horror, so it's kind of like the first of its kind. It's a British horror, which we haven't had many of like recently, and it's just cool. It's like so cool. The storyline and the writing is great, the characters are amazing, and I think it's a lot of fun. I think overall, as you said, like those one-liners that Tigger gives and like the performances, everyone is just so fun and camp and like flamboyant, so I think people should just enjoy it for what it is.
Absolutely. And the final question that we have is, what 3 words would you use to describe Blood and Honey 2?
I would say camp, gory, and chaotic.
Okay. Very much that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Nichaela, for sitting down and having a chat about everything to do with Blood and Honey 2. Yeah. Everyone is able to catch Nichaela as Cara in Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, out in select theaters now, as well as hopefully a physical release coming later this year. Where is everyone able to follow you to stay up to date on this project as well as the future projects to come?
Yeah, so you can find me at Nichaela_Farrell on Instagram, or my production company is at Gushki Gang Productions on Instagram also.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much. It was really fun chatting and finding out some more behind the scenes to the wonderful film.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Anytime. Alrighty, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Hopefully you all enjoyed this fun interview. If you did, please make sure you like this video, show your support, go give Nichaela a follow on her socials, and like she said, I am very much looking forward to see anything that she kind of comes up with in the future for writing, directing, producing, whatever she wants to dive into. As she said, she's working on some stuff, so I'm excited to see what she is going to bring to the table in the future. Thank you again, Nichaela, for sitting down, having a chat, talking all things Winnie the Pooh. I really appreciate it so very much. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for weekly videos and hit that notification bell so you know when I'm posting brand new videos, because if you don't, how else are you gonna know? You won't, so do it. I'm going to see everybody on the next video. I have more interviews coming in the future, so stay tuned for that. I'm gonna get back onto some movie reviews. Makeup videos will be coming later this year. I'm in the process of correcting my skin. So far, so good. It's been working. It's a journey. But once my skin seems nice, once my skin seems good, more makeup videos will be coming. But until then, until the next video, goodbye, friendships.